Welcome everybody. So you know how some birthdays just have a really special magic to them. Some birthdays we look at as this great milestone. You might think of turning 16 or turning 18, turning 21, and you get new freedoms, new opportunities. And as you get older, maybe you're not so excited about your birthday, right? I actually was kind of excited to turn 40. I felt like maybe people will take me a little more seriously, and I don't know. Now I've got all this wealth of experience, and I felt justified to put 40 on there. Um, well, when my mom turned 70, I felt really, really sad that I couldn't be at her birthday. We live on opposite sides of the country, and with my big family, I just can't leave as easily as I maybe could later in my life. At the time, I still had, I think five of my kids, five of the six. My name is Michelle Cox. I'm a certified life coach, and I'm a mother of six. So I still had five children at home when my mom turned 70. And I felt really bad. My sister said, "Can you come? Can you come?" And I just thought, I don't see how I can do it. My husband's a professor. What's he going to do if I'm gone and one of the kids gets sick? So I didn't take the opportunity and I didn't go. And I feel sad because my mom's birthday ended up being pretty anticlimactic, that half of her children are far away. I have a brother in the Seattle area, and my sister and my other brother live closer to her, so they got to have a nice time with her. They had fun and stuff, but it just wasn't the same. And with that being kind of a milestone birthday, to not have everybody there, or even just all the kids, me and my brother as well. To get the whole family, all the grandkids, that's a big feat. That's hard to do. Um, so the next year, she was turning 71, and it had just been on my mind throughout the year that, I just feel so bad that we couldn't be there. We couldn't really help to make it a really big celebration and really honor her at that big milestone. And, we have friends, we see them getting to have their whole family and all the in laws and the kids and grandkids. And it just is this marvelous time, and everyone's having a wonderful time. But we couldn't do that. So 71 was coming, and I just felt so bad about that. My sister brought it up again. She said, "Are you sure that you can't come?" And I started thinking, how could I make it possible to be at my mom's 70 plus one? That's what we started thinking. The 70 plus one birthday. How could we make that possible? Now, the difference between my mom's year when she turned 70 and when she turned 71 was that when she turned 71, that meant my youngest child was now in school full time. He was now in kindergarten. And I had taken a job that year as a teacher aide at his school. So, you know, I actually had a little more income than I had as a stay-at-home mom making nothing. Spending all my husband's income, which is ours, and I get to do that. Um, and I had now had some, additional income we didn't have the year before. And now my youngest son is also in school. And I started thinking, maybe this can work. But I still had a lot of like reservation and hesitation around it. Well, I signed up for a life coaching workshop with a life coach that I followed for quite a while, just a brilliant and amazing woman. And I just totally adored her and her workshops. And so I loved going to her trainings and learning from her and seeing how much life coaching was helping me. It got me really excited about life coaching, and that's actually what led me to become a life coach. That's another story. It's a good one. and, but just seeing, so I was sitting in her workshop, and I can't even quite remember what it was called. I think it was like the art of happiness. And day 3 or whatever it was, she asked that question. What is the life that you want? And I started thinking, what is the life that I want? And that's the question I'm asking you today. And I'm going to tell you more of the story, but I want you to keep thinking, What is the life that you want? Because as I pondered that question, and I thought, well, the life that I want allows me to go and visit my mom on her birthday sometimes. I can't do that every year, but what if I could this year? And so then I started thinking, yes, I'm going to do that. And so I called my sister and I said, what if we surprised her and we don't tell her that I'm coming? And my sister said, you think you can do it? I said, yeah, I can ask off work. I'll just miss 2 days or one day. I can't remember now what it was, probably 2 days. I haven't asked off any at this point. And and then I checked my frequent flyers miles and I had enough to get a free ticket to go across the country to my mom's birthday and surprise her for her 70 plus one birthday. And I started getting really excited. I can live the life that I want. I have to program my brain to believe that I can. And when I say I can, then my brain gets so creative and such an amazing problem solver and a troubleshooter and something that can start to look at what are my options, what are my possibilities, what can I create? 1 year ago, I didn't think I could. And now I'm saying I'm going to live the life that I want. And that means going to my mom's birthday, her 70 plus one. And my sister talked to my brother in Seattle and said, oh, Michelle's going to come. Can you come too? And he was like, yeah, I think I can do that. So he looked into that too, getting work off to be able to come. And and so we just got so excited about this becoming a surprise. And actually, maybe my brother was coming before I was coming. So my dad knew my brother was coming before he knew I was coming. He didn't know I was coming. So I actually became a surprise for both of them. um, and and so I just started having so many fun ideas of how we could make this a big celebration for my mom. Not necessarily like in numbers of people, but just as our family. Just us getting together and celebrating her, honoring my mom. She deserves it. And so to play this up, she was like, are you sure you can't come out for my birthday? She asks, and I'm like, it's just hard for me to come during the school year. It's so tough. My husband's a professor, so it's hard to leave when he's teaching. But I didn't tell her that I actually had gotten a ticket. And then to kind of play it up even more, the day before I flew out, I had my class say, happy birthday, Miss Michelle's mom, and I recorded it. And so before I got on the plane, on the day of her birthday arriving, to surprise her, I sent her the video. And I said, oh, I'm at work. Here are my cute kids. I love these kids. And so she got the video right before I got on the plane. So she's totally convinced I'm in Texas. I'm not flying to her house. And my sister picked up my brother and me. We landed about an hour apart and took us to a restaurant. And then we waited for my mom and my dad to arrive. And I'll just never forget that joy of pulling off this really special moment. And she came into the restaurant, came around the corner to our booth that we were sitting in, and my brother and I were scrunched all the way to the corner. And my dad came around first, and he saw my brother first, and he was just like, hey, excited for my mom to register who she's looking at. And then he looked at me, and he was like, what? And then my mom looked at both of us and was like, it was beautiful. And I will treasure that forever, and I will treasure that proof to myself that I can live the life that I want. I can look for ways to achieve a great desire. It's a good and wholesome and worthy desire to be with my mom on her birthday. I won't be able to do that every year. Wait, can I? I would love that. I don't have that many free tickets anymore. But even if I said that's what I'm going to do, What if I start a little savings account? I have maybe a jar. I could decide how I want to live my life. Now, that was a wonderful experience, and that's an event. We can live the life that we want. We can create these opportunities. We can save up for it. We can plan for it. We can, dedicate um, just some of our creativity to how this is going to work. How can it work? And I want you to think about that. If you've been listening to this story and thinking, what is the life that I want? I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Cancun and relax on the beach. I don't know. What is your dream? What do you want to do? And I want you to start writing a list. What would it take to get there? I need a plane ticket. I need a suitcase. I need maybe a passport. And maybe you're going somewhere you need a visa. Or I need a place to stay. I need to have food. What is it going to take? Start making that list. And then next to each part of that piece, or each piece of that puzzle, start writing down how you could achieve that. I need somewhere to stay. Okay, I'm going to get on Airbnb. I'm going to search up travel agencies. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to find out all the tips and tricks. There's going to be, I can guarantee almost 99% chance that somebody has created a YouTube video about it. Right? Somebody has created a YouTube video about how to have the best, lowest cost stay in Paris. Somebody has. I'm like, YouTube just has so much on there. Or you might find a blog post or something. Start Googling it. What is someone's best kept secret about traveling frugally? Find out. You'll find it. You don't have to spend $10,000. What if you could find a way to do it much, much cheaper where you could save for it and it's attainable? And you decide you're going to forego certain treats and perks and whatever. You're going to cancel. What if you canceled Netflix for a couple of years and save that money and then take that as that's the food fund or whatever? That's my point. You can come up with a million different ways to make it happen when you believe that you can. When you believe that you can create the life that you want, and you're willing to make sacrifices for it, and you're willing to plan for it and to have some self-discipline around the planning and the preparing and the saving up or whatever needs to happen. Believing it is the first step. Believing that it's doable. Believing that it can happen. You have to believe it first, and then your brain will get busy already naturally to see how to make it happen. And then it does. Okay, so that's great. To go on a vacation, to have a special time. Wonderful. But what about your daily life? What is that life like? What is that life that you want it to be like? When you think about the life that you want and think about your home environment, define it, describe it, draw pictures of it. Stick figures are 100% welcome. But whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, what do you really want? If it's very different from what you have right now, maybe right now there's a lot of fighting and arguing and bickering. The life that you want, we talk it out. We work through it without raising our voice. We show respect to each other. We don't become snarky. We don't get critical. We don't become sarcastic, which is so damaging to relationships. And we see there's such a big gap between the two. When you believe that your life can be better, you are the initiator of that better life. You learn how to manage yourself so that you don't feed into this lifestyle that you really don't want. And you can tell that you don't want that because you feel icky. You feel stressed. You feel repulsed by the situation that you're living in. It doesn't fit right. It doesn't feel good because your nervous system is saying, this is not good for me. This isn't taking good care and nurturing my soul. When there's a lot of fighting, nobody feels good. So if you want to be true to that innate desire for peace, everybody has that. Some people suppress it and become very violent. But if you're being true to that higher nature that is in you, And you want to move away from the conflict. You want to have peace and stability and mutual respect in your relationships. You get to start that by how you respond to the people in your home. You get to inspire it. We cannot control other people. We can't control how they feel. We can't manage their thinking. We can't totally control their behavior, but we can have so much influence. So if I adopt that belief, I want to live the life that I want. I can live the life that I want. The life that I want is peaceful. When we have a conflict, we talk about it, we don't yell. When I'm frustrated with my kids, I talk and reason with them. I don't have to spank or yell or threaten. That's the life that I want. So, what is it going to take for me to get there? When you say, this is the life I want and this is the one I'm working for, your brain starts to help you to notice, oh, this is one of those moments. This is one of those opportunities to change the climate, to adjust the temperature in the home, figuratively speaking, and begin to be the one who is calm and patient, clear about expectations and boundaries, consistent with following up with consequences, and without doing it in anger. You become the catalyst for improving the climate in your home. And then you find you are living the life that you want and that your nervous system yearns for and can now feel safe and relaxed in. It can be really difficult to do that, and I will honor that truth, because if you grew up in a home where the peace was not there, it was always contentious, and maybe there was a lot of instability. You never knew which side of your mom or dad you were going to get. That is really hard. And my heart breaks for children growing up in that situation. If that was you, you might need to get some help if you haven't already, to learn some strategies that can help you to move past that history that your brain was wired as you were developing to believe that's how it should be. And for you to be that chain breaker, you are amazing. To not pass that on to your kids is absolutely heroic. You can be that hero if you need to help change the story and the trajectory of your family. Generations of abuse and alcoholism or drug abuse and all kinds of painful behaviors and mindsets and beliefs that have created that really painful situation. You can be that hero in your family history, in your family line, that generations can benefit from you doing the work and seeing that this is not who I want to be. I don't want to pass this on to my kids, and I don't want my kids to pass it on to my grandkids. I have a very wise friend. When I was younger, as a younger mom, I was overwhelmed with all my little kids, and whoo, it was tough. Um, and I was just telling her how like overwhelmed I felt sometimes. And she said, you do it for your grandkids. Every time you're patient with your child, you're giving that gift to your grandchild, because you're molding your child's brain to then behave patiently with their own children in the future. So every time that you feel triggered by your children's behavior, train yourself now, adopt this now. How I treat them is going to be how my grandchildren get treated, or will influence that. I want a family culture that is loving and respectful. Clear boundaries. Yes, we need discipline and we need consequences, but we don't have to be harsh. And we can be the one to totally change the story, totally flip it on its head. We can do that. So when you're looking at your life, the life that you want, the life that you crave, and you say, this is what it is. And again, I want you to spend time like drawing it out, draw a picture, label it. What's happening in that scene? Just a random moment in your life, this little snapshot that encapsulates the life you're now living. Maybe you'll draw a picture of you and your child, and you're playing a board game, and you're laughing and having fun. Or maybe you're out for a walk with your spouse. Maybe you are taking your mom to lunch. What is it that will help to bring connection and joy into your life? And I promise you that a lot of things that can bring peace and joy into your life don't cost anything. So often, just a phone call with a loved one, boy, that costs you nothing, right? But that just can really fill you up and help you feel better. Or to be able to laugh with a best friend and, have these moments. Curate your life, schedule it in. I had a client who was very overwhelmed with some things that were very challenging in her life. And I asked her, what are some other things that can help bring a feeling of joy and give you that connection that you're craving? And she mentioned her friends and activities that they like to do. And I said, okay, when's the last time you did that? And it had been a while. So I said, you get to decide that you're going to have fun with your friends. You get to decide. Maybe it's monthly. Why not? Plan it out, schedule it, communicate with your friends, and put it on the calendar and be true to it, and then take care of any other details that need to happen in order for you to do that. But that's how you take charge of your life and you don't feel like your life is controlling you. The circumstances are controlling you. They're too heavy and too hard. They're stumbling blocks. They're big hedges. They're like big mountains in your way. You don't have to look at life that way. You can see what you can have influence on. You can see what you can do. So I've talked about relationships. I've talked about a big fun family surprise. I got to fly out to surprise my mom on her birthday. Think about those things. Think now. These are all kind of external. Now I want you to think about yourself. What is the life that you want for you living in your body? How does it feel right now? Do you find yourself feeling a lot of stress or anxiety about how your body functions, how it looks, how you feel, how you interact with the environment, how you handle and process your food? Are you relying on substances to get you going in the day or to calm you down or to numb out? What are you doing? Think about how you want to live your life in your body. Your body is a beautiful, magnificent vessel for your soul. And the better that you care for your body, the more you will love your body and not feel like it is the enemy. You will feel a tremendous amount of respect and awe for your body. Your body is the source of your happiness. It is the source of your pain. It's also the source of your healing. This is where the healing happens. And you will feel it, and you will come to love your body and be grateful for it. Even though it has maybe experienced a lot of pain, and I think sometimes we can blame our body for that pain instead of putting a responsibility on maybe somebody else who caused that. So when you honor your body and you learn to look at yourself in the mirror with reverence and with gratitude for what your body can do for you, you bring an inner peace that you can't buy. You bring an inner peace and connection and balance that helps to offset the stressors in your life. When you're at peace with yourself, the rest of the world opens up. It's brighter, it's more joyful, it's more hopeful. And so I invite you to think about that today as well. What is the life that you want to live with your body? What is the relationship that you want to have with your body? How do you want to view this vessel? Do you want to see it as something that you are repulsed by and frustrated with or angry with? Or Are you going to look at your body as the tool and the process for healing, for finding and creating joy, for making beautiful relationships with other people, for feeling confident in yourself, and to tap into this higher state of being, which is called love? Loving yourself helps you to love other people. It helps you to create beautiful things in your life. So create the life that you want. If you need help with that, a lot of times it's a mindset issue. We're really focused on what we can't do. And it's really hard to break out of that sometimes. Sometimes we really need someone to sit with us and find out, what are those thoughts? What are those beliefs that you're holding on to? And you don't need to. You can let them go. And you can replace them with other thoughts and beliefs that will support you and propel you forward. You can create a beautiful life. And if you'd like to learn more about how to do that, contact me, Michelle Cox, Mindset Coach, either through Facebook, YouTube, email. I'll put all the links for you. I want to help you to find peace and to be at become at a point where you can feel respect for yourself and have that inner sense that you are valuable, you're loved, and you're very capable of creating a wonderful life. No matter what your challenges have been, no matter the hard circumstances in your life right this minute, you can achieve a feeling of peace and calm and hope and joy. So thank you for listening today, and I look forward to sharing more with you next week on Let's Talk, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central. So have a great day.